Hello, Chris. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to a new hero story.
Hmm.
Happy to have you here today to dive a bit deeper into your hero's journey, to see where you're at, what your journey is currently about, and if there's maybe tips and tricks that you can share with the people in the hero tribe world and outside of that. And well, I know you've been walking a path with the Hero Tribe already 6 months, the Call to Adventure experience, so you're full on in your hero's journey, and also you're soon about to transition into the mentor certification training to become a teacher. So yeah, you already know quite a bit about the hero's journey and also about yours. So I'm curious, what is your current hero's journey mostly about?
Um, right. So, well, thank you very much, and thanks for that introduction. It's been a very interesting path to take from the start of your life, the life you're just getting on with life and things like that, and then once you get into that stage of understanding yourself and where perhaps why you're going wrong, what are the mistakes you're making, and you start self-reflecting. And that self-reflection has led me down different ways in my life to self-development and things like that, and has now led me down a path to more of a spiritual journey, and that's led me down to being with the hero's journey with the hero's tribe. And that discovery has been more about trying understanding, it's like understanding your place in earth, because I felt so alone and not belonging, and that there was something wrong with me. And then, but all the same time, understanding that things around me don't feel right and comfortable. And I think by starting this journey and understanding myself is understanding I weren't truly being truth and honest to myself. And then the hero tribe has allowed that open space to start understanding yourself and expressing yourself with others who are also doing that same journey, about really that we've been denying listening to that sort of inner intuition and that inner self, that inner growth. And we've been, in a way, it's like being asleep and being unaware. Um, and that awareness can be quite scary when you first start that path of awareness. You can be quite alone because not everybody is on that journey around you. So it's nice to come together and meet like-minded people who are also on that journey, and therefore you're not feeling quite alone on that journey. And that's how I found coming into the hero tribe has helped a lot.
So if I understand it correctly, it's mainly about understanding yourself better. And with
Yeah.
understanding yourself better, you understand maybe the outside is it's time to change that as well, like slowly but surely.
Yes, the surrounding. I think it very much changes the way you look at your people, other people in the surrounding. I certainly don't see people as and people in the surrounding as a problem as much as more as me, the way I see the environment around me, the way we reflect in the environment. And by doing so, I find I'm not seen to be meeting a world that's such a harsh world. It's more of a world that's just a little bit lost, like you've been, and therefore you have a much more love and a compassionate understanding of the world around it. And it tends to get a little bit more easy. There's less conflict, less restriction about trying to live life. You can actually enjoy life rather than this feeling that we're fighting it all the time and that we're struggling to make do and make ends meet, and that you are more gentle with other people, because they're going the same journey, and they might be less unaware of that. And so, yes, I think that has helped me manage my environment around me much better, and be more sort of compassionate to others as well, and even ones that might not be so nice or necessary being working in my favor. Um, it's certainly made my appreciate things and more gratitude to what I do have as well. We attach so much of our self-worth to our identity and the things that we have, and the more you could release that and let go of all that, and you actually say, actually, I don't need all that. It's like a weight holding you back down. And it's just such a release once you let go of all that attachment, and even attachment to people in a way. that you feel that you need people, you need that to make yourself feel whole, and you don't. It's still nice to have people around, but you don't feel attached to them as well. um, and therefore you're not relying on other people around you to make you feel happy and joy, or you've got to lift you up if you're feeling sad. Oh, you can do that yourself, and you don't have to have that drain on other people, because that's tiring for other people as well. You know, it's not just for yourself to rely on other people, but yourself. And it's that self-empowerment and realizing that it's just trusting yourself that you got this. And yes, you might need help and guidance from others, but actually you've got the answers within you all the time. And just being kind to yourself, you know, that can be really
Mm.
tough, because, you know, when you're not feeling that you're meeting your expectations or the expectations that's put on you, you could be very hard on yourself. And therefore, that kindness and that understanding that we're all going through these challenges and it's part of life. And there's a better way of doing it by learning to trust yourself, you know, instead of
Mm.
being, you know, resisting life and things that are thrown at you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And it reminds me also at the yeah, one of the goals that you had in the beginning of the journey was mainly to fully accept yourself, unconditionally love yourself, right? Like, how do you feel? I definitely see a change also, like trusting yourself, being kind to yourself. But how have you been growing into more loving yourself unconditionally?
I think I think when we're children, we rely on pleasing the people around us, especially your parents, the teachers, other kids, and that pleasing others, you're letting go a piece of yourself, because you're sort of denying your true authenticness, because you're trying to uh, change yourself to please others, and that carries on going through your adulthood. And if you don't realize it, you can continue that throughout your life. And what you end up doing is you're not truly loving yourself. You're just loving all these identities that you have. And when you get to the point where you're actually starting this sort of spiritual journey where you really want to truly know yourself, you're having to let go of all those identities, and let go of pleasing others or getting that validation from others to feel that, oh, I'm a good person to whoever it is, whether it's your parents, the people around you, your colleagues, whatever. And realizing that the more you let go and you start speaking your truth and not caring, in a way, not worrying about what other people think about that, even if it's often come across as negative, then they might not be happy the way the things you're expressing. It's slowly learning more and more that actually that it's more important to stay in that truth and speak authentically than trying to play that act of getting people to like you. Just you start to not like that act you're putting on. You start to the approval you get of others get less validation from it. It just gets less worth. You're like, I don't want to bother now. I don't want to try and please you anymore. And then you start just realizing that actually the connections you make is more important through that authentic connection. And if you don't get that positive feedback in a way that people are not accepting your authentic connection, you tend to walk away from your. And as you keep doing this and more exposure to just expressing yourself and just seeing how some people might accept it and some people don't. And I think as the journey's going on, I've just accepted more and more that I'm okay. The more and more people that don't accept you, because it's just, and again, it's not judging them and where they are. They're just lost in their own trying to fit in. And because my way of expression, being more authentic, can be alien to them in a way, they might not be used to it. They might be used to the act, and therefore it's just them feeling uncomfortable with me, and I'm okay with that. And I'm starting to feel more and more comfortable in being not accepted for that sort of character that I used to have, and being okay with just being me, and that feels much more satisfying, um, and I'm creating more authentic connections then, because I know who I can connect to, and then who aren't ready to connect in that deeper way with me. And that, so
Mm.
yeah.
Yes, beautiful. So you are in the stage of, yeah, maybe you lost, well, lost or you're less connection with certain people, but you start to realize that there's other connections opening up now as you are expressing yourself authentically.
Yeah, and it's not making out that those people are necessarily bad that you're letting go of, or judging them. It's just accepting that we're on different parts of the journey now. We're not
Mm,
aligning anymore. We might have did once when was back in the past, but now you're aligning in a different way, and you now start aligning with other people, and you just start your journey in life is a different path, and you start wandering with different people who are also aligning in a similar path to you, and um, and that starts off quite lonely because it's not many people tread that path, so it tends to be
mm,
much more harder to go that way. It's the less trodden route, and therefore more unknown in a way. It's not the common route that the society would normally be, and that can be a bit unnerving, can be quite scary, because you're choosing something that most people around you don't understand. And when you let go of them, and when you do start meeting new people like yourself and other people in the Heroes Tribe, you're realizing that those um, more loving, open connections where you're given the space to express yourself and not being judged and being okay, and that freedom that you can get from that is so much more rewarding than having all those other past friends that you had to put on an act to get along with them, and um, and that's okay. And it's just I find it quite exciting now because it's like there's you don't realize how much you were not happy in that life. You were just getting by, and you just realized that you were playing small. You weren't really enjoying life. There was moments of joy, but you weren't truly free to enjoy who you were. It's like going to a child's party and when you were a kid and always worried about what the other kids are. You weren't enjoying yourself. It's when you were just not worried about what other people were thinking, just playing with all the other kids, you were truly free. And I think as we got up as adults, we worry so much about what other people think in order to survive and to get by. When you return to that childlike innocence of not having to worry about what people think, there's that freedom from it. And when you start to go flow towards people that also want to be in that way of being, back at balance of who we truly are, without that sort of fight, it's just such a nice experience to be in. So relaxing and so much more free, and much more loving. You truly feel loved in a much more deeper way because you're understood for who you are, not loved for a conditional type of love that you get
mm.
otherwise. Mm.
Yes, yes. Thank you for sharing. Yes, and that's brings me to another question. Like what helped you to make the decision of really fully going into your spiritual journey, into your hero's journey? Like what was your calling? What woke you up from, hey, I need to change, I want to change something. I want to discover more about myself.
I think this journey seems to be one that I've been always been on, and I think a lot of people are. We're just not aware of it. And I think when I look at my whole life from my childhood upwards, it's almost as if I've always been guided, and it was always meant to be this way. Um, but if you want to know the true awakening part, I would say it happened in stages. You tend to be more, your awareness comes more and more, grows as you go on through life. And it often comes, I think, from being in a place of uncomfortableness. When your life becomes more and more uncomfortable, you feel more that you're being restricted, that it's like growing in a box and that box is getting tighter and tighter. And you think, this is not right, I've got to get out. And I think that's what it is like a restriction that you're outgrowing the person you are. And then you start seeking, unknowingly, you start seeking things to answers to why you feel this way. And it's almost as if you stumble across, as if you're guided. One of my awakening was as I wanted to go through a business. I changing my concept. I started doing self help to try and go through a new business venture, and it just wasn't working for me. And I read a book that woke me up to realizing that my past, my childhood, instance and traumas of my childhood were actually making belief systems that were holding me back. And just that one book changed the direction. It started making me go down to more, learning about my past. What is holding me back? Now, for my spiritual journey, for me, was a big change in my life. And I sort of lost everything. It's like losing the foundation of my life. And when everything dropped away, and that fight for survival coming from the bottom back up again, of saying, no, I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep going. I know there's something better for me. And it's that fight, that struggle, um, again, makes you go inwards. It makes you really see your strength within, and that fight for truly understand, because there's a deeper knowing that there's something more in you, and that, like I said, that compression of, I've got to get out, I've got to grow. There's something more, and sometimes when you got that, you got nothing else to live for, in a way, that sense. When everything seems to go away, you get that freedom from that, and that's what I felt when everything dropped away. There was like, I've got I've got no other choice now. It's either give up or try this scary little path, this unknown. I'm going to travel down and see where it goes. And just going on that path, even if it was just a few months' journey, it was an awakening. It was a way of being said, oh wow, this feels so much different without that weight on your shoulders. But then all the weight comes back as you start to get on with life again. Uh, but in this case, it's not, you don't give up. You're still curious. You're still, and it gets more. Your awareness grows. The more it grows, you don't give up. Then you can't go backwards. You realize there's more. You can't make yourself small and put yourself in that box anymore. And so the journey just keeps going, and you just keep outgrowing the box you're in, and then the next box, and next, you realize there's more and more and more to venture in. And that's exciting, scary at the same time, because you're constantly stepping into the unknown and learning more and more about yourself. But there's so much excitement from the other side of that as well. When you step out, because life's all about stepping out of the comfort zone. Otherwise, we would never leave the house. It's like we would always stay
Mm.
where we are. But every time you step out, you realize, oh, it's not as scary as you might think. Then you try something new. Oh, it's not quite as scary as you might think. And so when you truly start stepping into this journey that you want, you're always going to have this resistance, but you're stepping through. You go into a new awareness, stepping through it. The awareness grows. So it never truly goes away. You're always met with some level of uncomfortableness, but when you truly reflect back, you actually I've grown quite a lot. I'm a different person who I am.
Mm.
Um, and you don't, or it's very subtle sometimes, so it's not always obvious, but the freedom you get from um, being different, but okay, it's accepting that that difference, your uniqueness, is something that can be quite an exciting journey to embrace. Yeah. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, great. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, there's
You're
great
welcome.
wisdom in these words, and a lot of aspects of the hero's journey that come back, definitely. If you could give like one short advice for people who are maybe in the beginning of their journey or they are called to make a change, like what kind of advice would you give to someone who is hesitant or maybe still in the refusal of the call?
I would say one of my little challenges is that when you're going for this journey, you're the fact that you're on it, you're going to keep pursuing it, even if you try and deny it to some degree. And for a long period of time, I felt that I had to do it alone. That I was too afraid to, or when I did try and meet other people, it didn't seem to really work. I was either met with the wrong people, resistance, but that's part of the journey. And I think once you find the right people, the right tribe, the right people that you can get along with, it's your true growth is working with others, where because you need to be able to trust yourself, and that comes with meeting other people who are also learning to trust themselves, and met with to meet you where you are, and with that unconditional love, because might not have experienced that much in our life, and therefore you might feel that you want this to be loved unconditionally of who you are, but it's that fear of nobody around me is meeting me there. And then when you can join that tribe, join a group where you can slowly, might not be straight away, but you slowly start allowing yourself and being met and being okay and accepted, is
Mm.
that you realize actually I am being loved. And then you start loving yourself more. So I would say, yes, take that step, because even if you keep resisting, you probably will eventually will need to work with other people. And enjoy the process, even the challenges, even the difficult, the uncomfortable feelings, because that is part of who we are. We're not just all the good feelings. We're all the darker, the difficult feelings of emotions and stuff like that. So the more you can sit with those and be okay with those uncomfortable feelings, and embrace that, then you can enjoy the journey a bit more, and it will just come naturally. It's going to come. You can resist it, but it will keep coming. You keep calling because you're already on that journey, and just try and enjoy it, even when the ups and downs. Just enjoy the whole journey, because it's there's something really beautiful with the whole journey, the whole process, because you start seeing that it doesn't have to be a miserable journey. Like it doesn't have to be enjoying the sunny days. We can enjoy the rainy days, the windy and the stormy days. That all of it can be beautiful, and you can have gratitude for the whole journey that we're on. So yeah, so enjoy the journey.
Yeah, best advice, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chris, for sharing. And for the ones who have listened to this to this sharing Chris's hero story, you're also very invited to reach out to me if you would like to share a bit more about your hero story, and also maybe share in the comments like how this story has inspired you of maybe taking that action or reaching out to a tribe or our tribe. Most welcome. And Chris, thank you so much for sharing. I really love having these talks with you. And yeah, see you.
See you
Bye
later.
bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.